respectfully recommends item number 1.
Carried.
Item number 2.
Carried.
Item number 3.
Carried.
Item 4.
Carried.
Item number 5.
Carried.
Number 6.
Carried.
Item number 7.
Carried.
Item number 8.
Carried.
Item number 9.
Carried.
Item number 10. On number 10, Councillor Jackson.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, again, this is a back-to-basics item for my constituents in Ward 6 on the East Mountain. Special Capital Reinvestment Reserve Fund. I had saved this, I had initially parked this amount of money, Mr. Deputy Mayor, thinking about the Barton Secondary School situation and the fact that it's been announced for closure. And I had promised the community in the Bearsfield neighborhood, some of the community leaders that I had met with over the last few years since the high school review, that I would be there on standby for them in the event that the school closed. We've been able to buy a bit of a reprieve. As you know, Barton will stay open in some form fashion for at least another 2.5 years till the summer of 16. There'll be an opportunity hopefully to replenish some of this capital reserve from the Ward 6 end of things. So, Mr. Deputy Mayor, these two neighborhoods of the Bearsfield neighborhood and the Sherwood neighborhood that need some basic asset renewal, and we heard at committee the other day, Mr. Deputy Mayor, if you could believe it, our asset renewal fund has $0 in it. And this is one of those wonderful capital renewal funds where instead of just ripping up an entire road to do full reconstruction of roads, sidewalks, sewer, and water mains, this has been a great program through Director Gary Moore and people like Rick Andoga and staff, John Murray, that have for several years put in place where there's sections of a road that need to be repaved, redone, where there's sections of a sidewalk that are damaged and in bad condition, replace those, stretch out the dollars as much as possible, and be able to do more and save taxpayers money and inconvenience without unnecessarily having to rip up a road. So within the Bearsfield neighborhood, which is the Barton Secondary School neighborhood, roads that I'm looking at, hopefully with this approval tonight, Mr. Deputy Mayor, will be the likes of the Reno, Palmer Roads, Thorley, Behan, and in the Sherwood neighborhood, we've got on the radar Oakcrest, Elmhurst, Velcrest, and some others. So, Mr. Deputy Mayor, I'm really pleased that hopefully we can move forward on this from an asset renewal back to basics infrastructure improvement program. Thanks, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Jackson. On number 10? Number 11? Number 12? Number 13? 13?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Ferguson.
We had a good presentation from staff on the whole issue of emergency detour routes. And we had a staff sergeant in from the OPP to talk to us about, a number of accidents and the length of them and why we're getting so many and why these accidents are taking so long to clean up. It's almost becoming a weekly event now when the 403 gets closed. And that causes terrible inconvenience to the motoring public, let alone the wear and tear on whether it's Longwood Road or Dundurn or York or Wilson or Garner, that we need an emergency detour route. And you can see here that we supported the staff recommendation for the 403 for the emergency detour route around the 403. And it wasn't an easy thing to do because we had this escarpment there, would be Highway 52, Highway 6, and Highway 5, with advanced warning signs and a compass system, which is changeable message boards and also cameras that the media can use and citizens at home to take a look at where these accident scenes are. But the bigger problem is we've experienced almost a doubling of these accidents recently on 403. The police attribute it to speed and congestion. And why it's taking so long to clean these things up now is requests from the courts and from insurance companies on information. They have to gather all the information before they can reopen. But I had an opportunity to talk to the staff sergeant after the meeting, and he was telling me, he told me now I can talk publicly about this. They're experimenting with drones where they actually have some on as part of their assets now, where they'll send a drone up and do an aerial photograph of an accident scene. So rather than have to do measurements with survey equipment on the ground for skid marks and locations, and they can do this from aerial photographs now and actually reduce significantly the amount of time that the road has to remain closed in order to gather evidence. It can be done from aerial photographs from these drones that they would bring to the site, put up in the air, and then do an aerial photograph on it, which is pretty neat. And it's emerging technology. And, I tell you, from my perspective, I really encourage them to move forward with this emerging technology. But I think the public needs to know that we know there's a problem. We're trying to deal with it. We're trying to get these emergency detour routes in to send heavy trucks in particular around roads that are designed to carry them and cause less congestion in our own internal arterial roads. So it was a very interesting presentation. I think it was David Ferguson from the Public Works Department had a lot of preparation done. So we're not ignoring the public. I hear about it regularly. We're taking action, and so with the police. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. On item 13 then? Item 14? Councillor Marula may please have a motion on the report.
It's moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Collins, that we receive the report before us.
All in favor? Thank you.
Councillor Partridge, may I have a motion, please, to rise and report?